Thank you all for joining us today. Look for your friends. If they're not here visiting us, maybe send them a little reminder that it's happening and they are missing out. So then they're going to be chasing the recording down. So, okay, speaking of recording, I'm going to get everyone muted here and we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, let's see. Okay, welcome everybody. Hey, I am happy too. It is so good to see you guys today. So good to see you. So, how many of you were on the team meeting call last night? Drop a team in the chat. How many of you were there on the team meeting call last night? The reason I'm asking that is because we are going to just revisit something that we did last night. So hang on one second for me. All right, so if you were on the team meeting call last night, I know some of you were, some of you weren't, that is okay. I'm going to take a look at, we're just going to go back to what the little contest was, because we're going to do that drawing here today. So let me pull that up here for you, just 1 second here. And I will get that pulled up for us. All right, so let me cancel that out and share screen. Okay, this is what the drawing was last night. So last night, what we talked about was that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We said that we would do a $50 Amazon gift certificate drawing for those that were live on our team call last night and who did a post of this by midnight last night and then completed the form link. So I had about 30 people fill out the form link, and we are going to do the drawing here live. Who feels like a winner? Who feels like a winner? Put a winner in the chat. Who feels like a winner? So we're going to do that live. We're going to cheer them on, and then we're going to take a look at some of these posts, and we're going to talk about it and talk about the psychology, the content creation psychology behind why I ask you to do this. So what I ask you to do is, in the spirit of May Mental Health Awareness Month, for you to do a post of what are the 3 things that you do for your mental health and wellness, but only one of them can be supplements for mind-gut connection. And I ask you not to mention Amari or show the product or try to sell the product in the post, because the post was about just providing value to others, and then to ask others, what do you do for your mental health awareness? So let's take a look. Let's do this drawing together. Let's see who feels lucky. So I dropped all the names of everybody that filled out the form into the wheel of names, and here we go. So we're gonna spin it right here. Yay! Ooh, let's see who's gonna win. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Look at that. Mary L. Mallon won, and she was the last one to fill out the form and the last one on the list. So there it goes. You never know who's going to end up winning something. So Mary L., I'm going to make a note and I'm going to reach out to you. I've got your email address, so I will send you that $50 gift card via email. So congratulations. That is awesome. I'm so happy for that. So let's jump into taking a look at some of these that were filled out. If you are someone that did that challenge, I know Josh is, who else is on this call? Who else? Put it in the chat if you did that challenge and you would like for me to take a look at your post. So let's go take a quick look at it. One of the things that I know Jazzy Holly and I and Sarah B are in this class on content creation. And like I told you guys, I will bring you what we're learning from the class. You don't have to pay for it, and you don't have to attend it, or you don't have to do the challenges that come with it. But if you follow my post and Jazzy's post, or even Holly McKinney, who's in the class as well, if you follow us, you will see that we are likely doing something very on purpose that has to do with the challenge in the class. And I wanted to share with you, what we are learning in the class is the same thing that we've been talking about here, but even in a more specific way. And what I mean by that is the evolution of social media has changed a lot. So what worked prior to the pandemic of just showing up and teaching what you're learning, that worked prior to the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, when everybody was at home and you could show products, you could talk about product benefits, and people were buying because they were all at home and they were all looking for anything to make them feel better. Well, those things are not working anymore. You know, what works with social media is constantly changing because the algorithms are changing that you have no control over, and the audience engagement is changing. And what we're seeing in social media today is that, and I believe, and I honestly believe that during the pandemic, it's my opinion that Facebook and Instagram and other social media outlooks increased the algorithm. They increased who they were showing content with because there were more eyeballs on the content and they wanted to keep more people engaged with their platform. Remember, they're here as the business as well. And their goal is to keep you watching Instagram, keep you watching Facebook, keep you engaged. So I really believe that was happening. And that was part of the reason why so many companies saw such an increase in sales. People were at home, they were online more, they didn't have anything to do because they weren't traveling, they weren't going to weddings or birthday parties or reunions or anything. They were just looking at their computer to try to get entertainment and to try to catch up on stuff. So I think the social media companies leaned into that. What I would have done if I were running that company, they leaned into it and said, we're going to show the content to more people so that people get more reactions, so people buy more, so people show more stuff to buy, and people stay connected with our platform. And then now after the pandemic, the social media companies are struggling as well. Their sales are down, their engagement is down for many different reasons. Some people are just fed up with social media. Some people, don't have time now that they're back to work and now that they're back to everything full speed. And I don't know about you, but it seems like for me that when we had that downtime with the pandemic and then we came back out of it within this last year, especially 2022 and 2023, everything seems to be more. Like there's more games, more gymnastics events, more involvement with kids, more reunions, more birthdays, more activities. Everything's just more. There's just more stuff happening. So I think that the social media companies are trying to figure out how to really master this engagement. And for a while, when they released Reels, when Facebook and Instagram released Reels, they were competing with TikTok. And so they wanted to get you off of TikTok and over to them. And if you liked fun, short videos and all the fancy things you can do to edit them or whatever, then they did that. And they were prioritizing that you would see Reels over other content. But now I don't know that that's always happening. Now, yes, it's true. And even in our own team, we've got phenomenons of people that consistently do Reels on a very specific subject, and they've got their audience nailed down, and they're just saying the same thing over and over and over again, day after day after day, with just a different shirt on, that are getting some engagement. But just keep in mind, most of that engagement is just like buying one product. It's very difficult when you get a large number of engagement for people, for you to have the trust relationship, for the value conversation that gets somebody comfortable spending $150 on a product pack. So most of the times they're just buying one thing. They're buying one box of Kids Mood or one bottle of this or whatever. Now, sometimes that's not true, but it's very difficult to connect with people that you don't know. Even if they comment or like your Reels, they are not expecting you to reach out and connect with them. They are not consistently engaged. And so for those of you that think, I'm missing out because everybody's doing that, everybody is not doing it. But also it's just a different game. It's a different game, and you've got to know the rules of that game, and you've got to be okay with the long play of it instead of like a get rich quick scheme. It's not that either. And they might have hundreds of enrollments, but the enrollments are at, $40 a piece with Kids Mood or with one product, one bottle. So give yourself a little bit of grace if that's what you want to do. If you really like being creative and creating videos, then go ahead and have at it. That's your lane. Go do that. Just understand it's a little bit different than maybe the rest of it. But we're seeing now that even there, that content's being shown, reels are being shown less and less and less to people. And even some of our people that are doing reels are complaining that they're not able to get as much engagement as they once were. And again, that's because you are playing in a game that the rules are changing all the time, and you're not told what the new rules are. You're playing in a game, the rules are changing, and you're not told what the rules are. So it sounds like I'm saying social media is a tough game, and it is. But what always wins out with social media is consistency. What wins out is consistency and consistent. And now in today's day and age, in 22 and 23, today's day and age, it's authenticity, it's genuine, it's you. And you can see by other advertisements that happen, how they're doing their advertisements is through user-generated content, which means average people talking about their testimonial about something, but not feeling salesy with it, like not sharing a link. Because some of you see someone on social media do something on Instagram in their stories or somewhere else and put a link in, and then you think, I need to put a link in everything I do. And that is not translated, like you're translating the language wrong. That person likely has a different following and a more targeted approach, and they have more credibility with their following and their audience because they've been building it for a longer period of time. So you're not going to get the same results with that as they're going to get with that. And this goes back to why understanding who your client is really important. The number one thing to build that trust is to be relatable. And relatable means that it's about your journey. It's about the progress that you're making, not about perfection. So for all of you that are out there, using some of the Amare products and you don't feel that you're at your ideal weight yet, or you don't feel that you've completely conquered whatever it is you want to conquer, you still have sad days, or you still have days of struggle. And you're thinking, I cannot go out and talk to people about this because I'm not where I want to be yet. That's the opposite is true. The opposite is true. People want to walk along the journey with you. And when you wait to not talk with them until it's perfect, not only is perfection not relatable and people don't believe it and they're not interested in it when you say that you are perfect or that you have arrived or you have gotten those results, but also you're missing thousands of dollars that you're leaving on the table because you're not willing and courageous enough to show up a little bit and share a little bit more of yourself and your genuine, authentic journey. So one of the most important things that we're learning and talking about with content creation is to stop selling. Stop selling, stop selling, stop selling, stop selling, stop selling. Put a stop selling in the chat. And I know that you're probably thinking, well, I'm supposed to be selling because how am I going to make any money if I'm not selling? The selling happens in the relationship and in the conversations later. And I'm going to teach you a little bit more about that when we dig into what we're going to talk, this example that we're doing today. The most important thing to do is ask yourself this question with whatever you're going to post. Can I impact someone? Can I impact one person with this post? And can I get a little bit better? Is what I'm saying going to help this person? Not sell them, is what I'm saying. Because when you focus on selling, you're not focused on them, you're focused on you. When you focus on selling, you are saying to that other person subliminally in your energy that I don't care about you, I care about me and what you can do for me. And that energy goes across to people. When you focus on how can I be relatable and how can I solve people's problems, then you're focused on them. when you lead with love, like we talk about a lot here, when you lead with love on how can I serve them? How can I be relatable? How can I describe a situation to them? Ask them a question that is not about what product do you want at Amari, or when do you want to buy, or do you want me to send you the link, but instead is going to lead to a conversation where I can love on them and get to know them and gain their trust. That's where you want to be with it. Can I impact the life of one person with what I'm posting, and can I get a little bit better? If you look at what you're about to post and you feel like you're selling in it, then don't post it. Go back and redo it, rewrite it, refigure it out, redo it. So that's why we said what we said here with this little exercise of now I got to close this other thing out. Hang on just a second. Too many screens open at the same time. But that's why we said what we said here with this is, what 3 things would you do for your mental health and wellness? And what are things that they do? So you're getting to know them and you're asking. All right. So I'm taking a quick look here in the chat. So I know I've got a box opened over top of a box. So let's look at some of the questions. Silly question here, Laura, but one of my social selling coaches says it's important to do daily offers. Offer is either product or business opportunity. I cringe doing offers, but I see this is important as well. Winnie, what I would share with you, and welcome, Winnie. It's so good to see you here. I'm glad that you are back. I would tell you this. A lot of times people that are out there selling you social media training are selling you what worked for them 5 years ago, or even during the pandemic. During the pandemic, it would have worked really well to be doing offers because the algorithms were up and there were more eyeballs on the platform, and people were wanting to buy because they weren't traveling or going anywhere, and they were trying to figure out solutions to things. I think all of us would say that. Weren't you? Don't you think you were consuming a little bit more during the pandemic than normal? So I would honestly say, Winnie, that that's outdated. I don't think that that's the right way to go. I've often heard, back then the teaching was a call to action. You got to end every live video with a call to action, like message me for the link to buy or whatever. And nowadays, the more contemporary way that's more effective in building relationships is that the call to action is more about just a general question, like, what do you do with this, or what would you think about this? Message me if you want me to tell you more about what I did. So I would say be careful with the offers every day. And I think that what you pointed out is so right. It feels cringy to you because it's not authentic with who you are. And the important part about what we're doing here in building is that other people are watching us, whether they're commenting or not, they're watching us. And they're either going to see what we do and say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be offering a different offer every day. That's not me. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to do that. Or they're going to say, gosh, I love how she shows up. She's so positive. She's so encouraging. She's helping people. And it doesn't feel like selling at all. I don't even know where she gets the sales from. That's more authentic, I think, with who you, how you want to show up and be. Let's look at some of the comments here, and we're going to dig into some actual Facebook and Instagram accounts. Okay. So Jazzy said, my most recent reel video, I challenge people to become more proactive in creating better mental space in their life. And that was my call to action. See, her call to action wasn't an offer of a product or a program that she was selling. Instead, it was, what can you do to take charge of your mental health? And, tell me what you're doing to take charge of your mental health. And those answers that you get are going to lead to those conversations. So let's take a look. Helen says, when I posted in my feed, I got a lot of likes, but not many comments. I took the same post and added it to a group I'm in, and I had 98 comments and many more likes. That is outstanding, Helen. That's outstanding. And Helen has had a lot of effectiveness with that group training of how to kick connections from a group in the Fallon Zoe training that I shared with you guys a couple of weeks ago. It is recorded on the Linktree. It's Linktree /social media workshop. It is recorded there that you can catch up on it. I'll drop the link in the feed here in just a second. Helen, tell us a little bit more about what is that group. Tell us a little bit more about that group. And you know what, guys, it can be really freeing. Like it can feel like freedom for you to feel like I don't have to sell. I just need to show up and be a good friend. I heard someone describe social media, and it stuck with me, as a cocktail party. That if I showed up at a cocktail party, imagine if I showed up at a cocktail party and every time I got in a conversation with somebody, I'm like, here's an edge. Oh yeah, you want an edge? Look how good this edge is. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. I mean, how weird would I be at the cocktail party? Before long, everybody would be like, I'm not going to talk to that girl. All she cares about is herself. And all she cares about is what product she's selling that she wants me to buy. So imagine when you're showing up on social media, like you're showing up at someone's home at a cocktail party. What kind of conversation would you have with someone? What would you be asking them about? What story would you share with them of a life experience that you've had and how it's transformed you or changed you? All of those different things. Let's see what Krista's saying. I posted a different post after the call since I listened to the recording. I'm doing a mental health post today. Very good. Okay, good, Krista, good. Let's see. Are Reels as effective as lives for reach? Holly. So here's my thoughts about it from what I've seen. And Jazzy, you can drop in if you've got thoughts on it as well. Reels are only effective if you land the message. And it may take you 100 attempts to land the message. So if you're committed to, I'm not going to give up on this thing until I figure this messaging out. And if it means I show up once every day for 100 days, which is what Trisha Wright on our team did, who finally figured it out, but she showed up once a day, maybe twice a day for 100 days straight. So if you're that committed that I'm going to figure out Reels because I just love Reels, I love being creative, I love how funny they are, I'm going to figure it out, then Reels will get you somewhere. Lives are going to be more seen without requiring that kind of commitment, but you're not going to get as high a number. Like when Reels land and you get a huge hit, you get hundreds of thousands of people listening to it, but you did 100 and you got thousands of people. Instead, lives, you might get 20 or 30 people, but every time you do it, you're getting 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 people every time, instead of a trickle of maybe 100 and nobody's responding. And then all of a sudden you spike up and get like 1,000. So which way do you think your personality type is that you would be more committed to? You know, are you the kind of personality that I'm such a bulldog about things that I don't care? I will show up every day and work on this Reels and perfect my message and change it based on how many engagement I'm getting, knowing that it may take 100 before I get a hit with it? Or is your personality like, I would give up on that? Like, I'm not going to have the stick to itness for that. I'm going to get bored with that and frustrated with it. So I would rather show up live and overcome whatever my fears or concerns are of showing up live, but be consistent with that to a smaller, more committed audience. Lives are more quality. Reels can be more quantity, but that's over time. So that's the choice. That's the choice that you have on that.
Yeah. Hey, Laura, can I add something here too?
Yeah.
One thing about lives, guys, or about Reels to keep in mind is Reels will drop into a completely separate category versus what's actually being done on your profile, because there's a lot of people out there, especially the younger generation, that is actually all they do is look at Reels all day long. They don't go into the posting on the profiles and stuff. So keep in mind that if you are wanting to go more toward the Reels, it does open up a completely different group of people to you. But what Laura was talking about by, that consistency and making sure that you're doing it on a daily basis and that you're perfecting your message is really, really important.
Yeah, for sure. And for example, the people on our team that have done really well with Reels, for example, Trisha is a teacher. And so she's got young children at home, and she really focused on kids' mood and on how kids' mood works and what it helps with. And she focused on what the pain points are that teachers and parents feel about kids' mood. And she just focused on that over and over and over again. And you know what? she's getting people signing up and buying Kids Mood, but most are not buying Happy Juice or buying a product pack, and then they're very hard to reach and follow up with later. So you've got to, it's like, the thing about Reels kind of reminds me of the old teaching that's been around forever about, do you want to be self-employed, where the job depends on, like, the business depends on you to show up? Like, I think of a chiropractor. If a chiropractor's in business, or a dentist, if they're the one in business and they're the only one in business there at their office, then when they take a vacation, money stops. Like, they don't keep getting paid money when they're not there working. Reels are like that. You don't keep paying, people aren't continuing to pay money and sign up if you're not showing up and working every day. Whereas lives and creating content that builds trust and builds your audience are better. And I would tell you this too. There's nothing wrong with practicing your message with lives, for example. I mean, if you're not comfortable with lives, you're not going to be comfortable with Reels, because Reels are a shorter version of live. So you just got to be like in it and get the message across quickly. So do both if you want, but just know that Reels is not a get rich quick scheme. And neither is TikTok. And you have to perfect your message and talk to the pain points, like we've covered with Andrea Clark a couple of times. If you're not speaking the language of the problems that person is having, and you're just trying to sell them on the product, it does not work. So that's what you've got to, so practice, show up and do more lives, do some Reels, see what kind of reactions you get, and learn a little bit from everything that you're doing with it. But Reels is a little bit of a longer game. All right, let's take a look at some, I'm looking to see who volunteered here. Let me get my glasses on. Oh my word. Let me see who's volunteering here of who we can look at, whose post we can look at. So Krista did a post. And Helen did a post, Janie did a post, Juanita did a Reel, Wendy did one, Corey did over on IG, Yesley did a Reel. Okay, let's see. Looks like Brianne did one as well. So let's go look at some. Hold on a second here. Okay, let me close out all this stuff, all these messages, and let's take a look at, let's go with Brianne and see if we see hers here. All right, Brianne. So let's take a look at May's Mental Health Month, quiet time. Some days are good. What are some things you do to keep sane through your mental health? That's good. You got quite a bit of engagement there. 23 or more engaged. Listen to worship music. Sidna, that's awesome. Not as many comments, but it looks like that was very recent. That was just about a day ago. So that is good. Very good there. And I don't see the live. It may have been somewhere else. Let me ask you this, Brianne. Do you feel comfortable with how to follow up with all of the folks that liked it and didn't comment? Would you like some suggestions on how to follow up with people that liked it but didn't comment? Were we supposed to go live? No, you didn't have to go live. No, it could have been a flat post, or it could have been a Reel. So what I would do is, I think this is great. I love your picture too. That is so fun. I love your picture and love how bold you are with that, and fun. And I think you'll get a lot of people stopping to look at it. A few things that help me stay sane these days: working mama, blah, 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 blah. Some days are gloomy. Live for. The only thing you might want to do if you want to redo it on the same topic is, you might say, here's the 3 things. Like I would drop the May, like if you want to redo it, drop the Maze to do an A/B test to see which one gets more engagement. Do another fun picture and do something like, what are my top 3, what are my top, I would ask the question first of how do you stay sane during busy world or something like that. And then here's my top 3, or you could say, here's my top 3 things I do for my mental health. What are yours? But ask those questions right in the top, because here's what I'm finding with my own post. I'm finding this: people are seeing the picture and they're liking it, but they're not opening it and reading it. So I'm moving the question up a little bit earlier, and you're going to see I'll do that today to see if I can get the engagement of the comments to get up a little bit. But what I would do for the people that liked it is I would reach out to the people that liked it, loved it, and take the people that are your friends and family in Amari and set them aside. You don't need to spend time reaching out to them. But who are the people that are coming up for you that you would that are not yet in Amari, that are prospects for you? And I would reach out to them and just, directly say, hey, Susie, thank you so much for liking my post about Mental Health Awareness Month, and some of the things that I do. I'm just curious. I'm putting together a list of what are the most popular things. What are some of the things that you do? Just ask her the question, like directly, because she likely didn't open it and read it and didn't have time to respond because people are so quick. But that'll get your engagement and Messenger going. And you guys do know this hack of how in your feed, you can choose the people that you want to see more content from, right? So that, like, for example, I always like to pick people that I want to target to enroll or to support my prospects, and I favor their profiles so that the algorithm shows me their content more than it shows me everybody else's, so that I can be a better friend to them and I can like and comment on their stuff better. Do you guys know that? Y'all know how to do that? If you don't, let me know and we'll cover that as well. Brianne, was that helpful? I think that was great. I love what you did there. That was wonderful. Let's look at who else volunteered and said. Krista, I know did. So let's go to Krista's. Trying to manage the comments here. Okay, Krista. So Krista said she did it a couple of different ways. I listened to a call today and the specials alone blew my mind. This is a game changer. The free affiliate link, compliance changes May 1st. I'm like, hold on. Yeah, that is that one. I love the picture of the family. That is amazing. And you've got a lot of love and support from some of, it looks like from, I mean, you've got good engagement on it. So that is good. And, I think you may see some, results from that. It's.
Can I ask a question about it?
Yeah, go ahead, Krista. Yeah.
Like I come up with posts like a lot of time and then I get scared. So then I don't post them. And so I just, had randomly did that one. But then after I did it, I was like, was that kind of confusing? Because I was talking like business and products, or, because it's like I wanted to talk about the business, but at the same point, I wanted to explain what the products have done to me. Should have it been 2 posts, or is 1 post like that okay?
Tell me about who commented. Are there any prospects that commented?
Well, like Rhonda is a prospect.
Okay, great. Great. And she misses you like she used to work with you before?
Yeah, we had a traveling boutique together, and then we kind of had like a business fallout, and have just recently been reconnecting over the last 6 months.
Yeah. And I would just reach out to her like you probably have already done in Messenger and love on her.
Okay.
But I would say that your instincts, because, I believe in trusting our gut feelings. That's my business name, Trust Your Gut Feelings. So I do believe that your instincts are right. I think that it is a little confusing about you go from talking about being an affiliate, which I'm not sure, I don't know your audience that well, and I don't know who your target market is, but I don't know whether they will understand that. It feels to me, Krista Ann, and I could be wrong about this, it feels to me like you copied and pasted this from somebody else.
Oh, but I really didn't. I came up with it on my own.
Okay.
And that's the thing that I have a trouble with, is it's like I come up with stuff and it's almost like I feel like it is good, but yet it doesn't sound like something I would say in the past, but yet it's something that I've learned and I'm starting to feel very comfortable with. So
yeah. Here's how to do the same thing. And let's put this to the test and see how it works for you. I would do a post, which is a picture of you again. And I wouldn't try to explain, this as much as I would say, maybe, and I'm kind of obviously like going off the fly here with it. So give me a little grace with it, but I would say something like, I would talk about, why does the changes with the affiliate link and the compliance changes, how does that make you feel? And why does that make a difference for you based on what you know from the industry? So whatever the answer is to that question, what problems do those change, which is your target audience of who you want to recruit? Like, for example, I'll tell you how it feels for me, and this could be similar to you, but how it feels for me is, and by the way, guys, our compliance call tonight, I think it's at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Somebody fact check me on that if I'm wrong about it, but it'll be a great call tonight on just compliance, but also what the company has done if they have loosened up the rules. Like if you were on our team call, you heard that they are allowing any adult in your house can sign up as a customer or a partner. And that is huge because especially an adult signing up as a customer, that helps you with your overall customer volume. And it gives you another enrollment that can count towards me in 3 and focus on 5, which is amazing. So that's like your spouse, your adult children that live with you, anybody over 18 and over. The other thing that they're doing is they're loosening up the rules around, we are leading the industry. We are pioneering that we don't own people. And our CEO, Jared, talks about that he sees this relationship of people who choose to buy products from the company or choose to refer others to the company as a sacred covenant. And he respects that your loyalty has to be earned, not regulated, not required. And we understand how the world is today, that in today's market, one person can recommend and use and recommend more than one product. And that affiliate marketing like that is the future. And that's not to say that what other things we do are the past, but there's a more growing trend towards that. So we are leading the industry by being one of the first companies ever to say, not only do we not care if you are in another company, but we don't care if you use other products and you recommend other products in the same place that you recommend Amari products. The only thing that we ask is don't confuse your audience by recommending another business opportunity in the same place where you're recommending the Amari business and Amari products. Business opportunities are different. Affiliate marketing, recommending different products is, we're saying that's wide open. So how that makes me feel is, I feel like, thank God, somebody finally gets it. I don't want to be owned. No one can own me. No one can tell me who my friends are. No one can tell me what products I get to use. No one can tell me who I want to refer to what products. I mean, get on that rant about, and I mean, not necessarily a rant, but tell that story of, I've been in this industry for X years. And one of the things that I don't like about it is companies think they own us. They think that once you buy a product from them, you can't buy a product from anybody else. How ridiculous is that? That's not the way it works at the grocery store. That's not the way it works. The best brand for solving the problem wins. And that's a lazy way of marketing to say that you can't buy from somebody else once you buy from us. So I'm so proud of our company for leading the charge and saying that you can be an affiliate with more than one brand. And we're gonna respect our relationship here, that we have to earn your trust, not dictate it. What about that? I mean, how does something like that feel for you? Is that kind of what you want to say?
Yeah, that seriously is like what I was trying to say, because I mean, I've been in this industry for 22 years and I feel like, especially some of my last experiences with companies, and I've had success. I just feel like, yeah, they act like they control you. And so I've always been like timid or scared to, even come out and now post about Amari, or just different things. So yeah, feeling comfortable that way. And that's the kind of, I know so many people that are so scared to even come and take a look because they're afraid they're going to get slapped a lawsuit.
Yep.
So
I would put that in like your headline sentence is, I would put, you don't own me. Or I would put, companies don't own people. And then inner space. I love your spacing here too. And I love your emojis. I think that there are a little too many emojis, that it becomes a little distracting. Like I'm looking at the emojis more than I am what you're saying. So that would be some advice there is you can use the emojis for emphasis, but rein them in a little bit. And a better headline, because you want to hook headlines. So I would do a headline that says, you don't own me, or to say, companies don't own people, and then say, here's what I love. Or I would start with a question, because they're not scrolling down to read the whole thing. And that's what you can tell if you get a lot of likes and not a lot of comments. They didn't connect with the message, and they're looking at the picture and they're liking it because they want to support you, but they're not reading what you said to get to the question at the end. The days of that are gone. So I would instead do the question, you don't own me, or companies don't own people. I believe companies don't own people, or, whatever you want to say as your statement, your declaration, and then your line spacing. And then I would say something like, have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like that because you bought a product at a company, or because you referred other people to a product at a company, that now all of a sudden they don't want you to be able to buy products from other companies or refer other companies? Here's what I love about where we are. And you can talk a little bit more about how that makes you feel. Like, that makes me feel angry. I get frustrated when that's so old thinking, that's such old school thinking, and it needs to be earned, or, whatever it is you want to say, and then go, here's what I love about where I am. And if you get them with the hook, they'll read the rest of it. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, where is your thing about mental health?
Oh, no, that's the one I'm still working on. It was the other one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now here I would say, and I would also be careful, Krista Ann, like whoever, I don't know what this video is that Elizabeth posted on your feed, but it looks like it's a virus. I would, there's a setting that you can go to where you don't allow people to tag you in things without you reviewing it. And I would strongly encourage that you do that. Because you've got so many different, because honestly, when people do that, I found a lot of times people from other companies will tag me in something. And if I wasn't looking, all of a sudden my audience got promoted, whatever they were talking about in another company. And my algorithm got hijacked because they were using my following to get something for themselves. So, and some people are so inexperienced with social media, they don't even know what they're doing, but you are in control of your own feed. So I would encourage all of you to go to the settings where you can review your timeline post and not let there be anything posted without your review. And that's okay. You get notified and you can go check it every once in a while and see if somebody tagged you in something, like when Ashley congratulated you. And that's amazing. You can accept that. I would also, these are your cats, Kristan? I love cats. My girls love cats. I'm also a dog person too. I just love animals. They just get me. But I would do a post about that for mental health. That I would say something about, have you heard that pets are good for mental health? Or, my cats are like my fur babies. They're like my children. But in all honesty, I've heard that they're good for mental health, but it's really true. Do you have a pet? Like I would ask, do you have a pet? Put a picture of your pet, put a picture of your cat in the thread. Like, get people to do something that isn't about selling or buying, but it's just something about you connecting with them. So I would do
Laura,
something.
I have a quick question about the tagging. Is there a way to stop people from tagging you on Instagram also? Because I know how to do it on Facebook, but people have been tagging me on Instagram and I don't know how to stop that.
I don't know how to do that, but have you Googled it?
I did. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody here know how to stop people on Instagram from tagging you? I haven't really seen much of that. Are they tagging you in stories?
They're tagging me to something that they're selling, and there's like 20 other people they're tagging. And then because I'm tagged, it'll show up as on like a different page of my Instagram, but it'll show up there if somebody looks that far.
Yeah.
Stephanie, is there any way you can remove the tag? Do you know? Have you Googled that?
I end up blocking them is what I've done, just to remove them but I didn't know if there was a way to like stop it completely.
Yeah, Brittany is saying you can remove the tag. And Mariella's suggesting, look it up on YouTube, search YouTube. How do you stop someone from tagging you on Instagram? Okay.
Thank you.
love
I
the
didn't look on
collaboration
YouTube.
of our group here. Yes, I love the collaboration of our group here. Very good. Okay, let's see who else. Janie said, look at hers. Let's look at Janie's real quick. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, Janie, love your photo, Janie. Good. April is organ donor month. I know that's a really important thing for you, Janie. That is helpful. I'm sorry to see that young lady is missing. Janie, be careful with sharing. Like, this is a shared post and it's very honorable and sweet, but when you're hitting the share button and sharing content to your feed, you're telling Facebook, I am not interested in creating original content. And Facebook says, yeah, I'm going to lower the number of people that see what it is that you're posting. So just look out for that. Beautiful art there. Good. Struggle to get sleep each night. Yeah, I did something about that. Yep. Celebrating mental health. I'm not sure why you're not getting, it's only been a day since you did that. So I'm not sure why you're getting, I would say that one of the reasons you're probably not getting as much engagement with that is that you might want to put some space in between what you're saying. Like, do you struggle to get sleep each night? And then put some space in between it, or tell your own story. Try to do the same thing with a different approach. Again, guys, I do that all the time. And that's like that perfecting of reels in that conversation we were having with Holly is you do, and then you learn. It's kind of like making a recipe that you make the recipe and then you're like, I'd put a little bit more of this and a little less of that. And then you make it another time. And finally, by the third or fourth time, you don't even need to look at the recipe. You got it. You know how to do it. That's what you're perfecting here on social media. And it's okay because not everybody sees what you're posting anyway. So it's not like somebody's going to come back to you and say, well, didn't you talk about sleep 3 days ago? No one's ever going to do that. And if anybody ever says that to you in a situation where you've taken the same post and you've kind of redone it in a different way, let me know. But I don't think anyone will ever say that to you. What I would do, Janie, is that question, do you struggle to get sleep each night? Sounds a little bit like I'm about to sell you something. So I can't say for sure, but I think that could have caused people not to engage as much. And what you might want to do is instead talk about, I was up all hours. Just say that, just say that sentence. I was up all hours, and then hit enter so that you put a space line, because when the words are too close together, people can't read it and they move on. I was up all hours. That hooks people because they think, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's going on with Janie? Why was she up all hours? But then what you're going to get into is, I used to struggle sleeping at night, or my kid trouble sleeping at night, or, we would go to bed and then we'd wake back up, or I couldn't fall asleep. My mind was racing. I just kept thinking of all my to-do things and I couldn't get any sleep. Talk about the pain point. I know that you say that in the question, are you waking up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep? But talk about like you've got experience with it, because it feels a little bit like I'm watching a commercial that's asking me that. And that may be why they're not quite engaging with it. And again, I mean, if they did click on it and they saw all of this content, which looks like you are definitely selling something to them, like I know what you're doing is you're looking at what the promotion specials are. But the reality is people don't buy because of what the specials are. The specials close the sale. They don't attract the sale. When it comes to the free shipping and the free product, those are closing specials. Those are specials that once you've got someone interested and they're interested in buying, you can say, well, hey, by the way, you want to get this pack because with this pack, you're going to be able to get free shipping. And if you bought just a little bit more, you're going to be able to get free relief. The only way somebody's going to get free relief or sleep is with an over $250 order. So when we lead with trying to sell them on the product that's a gift with a $250 order, that's a closing gift, not a selling gift, because they've got why are they going to spend $250? That's the big question that you've got to get over with them, which starts with some of that engaging content. So now where is I love your happy juice video. You're so cute. I love that you're doing this, that you're comfortable doing this in front. Stop shaking that already. Be kind to everyone. You're describing it. You're looking straight to the camera. You're friendly. That is great. That's wonderful. Again, I'm not sure where you put it, but it looks like it's not getting quite as much engagement here. This is a great testimonial. Your best friend having one of those weeks, blah, blah, blah. That is great. I would be sharing that on stories as well. That's really good. And I would also just be looking for, I would look for the post. Here's a shared post again, Janie. When you're sharing a post, it's dragging your algorithm down. It's locking your algorithm up. And that's why you're not getting as much engagement on it. Rosie, that's her. I mean, you can share some of these in stories, but see, when you're putting the link in and you're sharing it, people aren't seeing it. That's why you're not getting any engagement, because Facebook is saying she is sharing way too much content from other sources, and we don't know whether that's the content we want to be shared throughout social media. So we're just going to stop showing what she's sharing, and we're going to drag down her algorithm. Same thing. And you notice most of the time when you share something, you're not getting engagement. That's what's happening. It's not that you're doing it wrong. Like, it's not about you. It's the algorithm is telling you, stop doing that. We're not showing what you're sharing there. Now you got some engagement here. What's the one thing you want to do for yourself today? I love that one, Janie. It didn't perform as well as I think it would have, because of the shared post. If you stop sharing posts, you'll probably get a little bit more from it, a little bit more from people from it. So yeah, that's some of the things that I would say. Again, like, this is a great post, but nobody's seeing it. Like, you're sharing things, but people aren't getting it. Same thing with this. When you share images like this, it feels like selling. People feel like they're being sold to. They want to feel like you see them and love them for who they are, and that you'll be able to help them. Now, this is funny. Somebody was laughing about that. The people that engaged here, are they your customers yet with Amari? And if they're not, then I would reach out to them and I would say to them, hey, I really appreciated you commenting on commenting on my post. It's just a lot of sharing. I appreciate you commenting on my post. I would, what I say to them is, I appreciate you commenting on my post. I don't know if you were just being nice, or if you want to know more about it. Do you want to know more about it? Just ask them, like, thank them, compliment them. I don't know if you were just being nice, because you are super nice. And do you want to know more about it? That's a great winning combination for that. Let's see what else there is. Who else do we have? How do I share from memories? I don't share a lot of memories, but if I would screenshot the memory and create a new post, and I would tell a story about it. Like, you want to connect emotionally with people. So you want to tell a story about what it is, this memory came up for me, or, I remember the day when, or the hook line of, you never know when is the last time, or, whatever that you can connect with it on there. So do it as a screenshot. Yes. Jazzy gave a great idea too of, you'll never believe what happened to me when I couldn't sleep last night. Do this one thing before you go to bed at night. Ooh, that's so good, Jazzy. Do this one thing before you go to bed at night. See how that would hook people? That would help people see it and get it. Okay, let's take a look at, since Marielle won, let's take a look at hers too. I think you're on Facebook, Marielle, but maybe not. Maybe it's on Instagram. I'm just looking here. Hang on a second. Yeah, okay, there it is. Okay. So okay, I'm just gonna start on this journey. Shifts that are happy and feel a little lost, been a whole lot lately. That's a lot of words altogether. Lot of words. So I love that you've got yourself in the photo, and it looks like your daughters or the girls doing a selfie. That's amazing. So that's stopping people to look. So that's amazing. And you're not getting a lot of engagement with it, because as soon as people click on it, on the more, like you saw how I saw it. Let me go back and then go forward. How I saw it looked like that. And then when I hit, first of all, that's a lot of words right there. And then when I hit this, I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I mean, I do not have time to read that. So that's what you're running into. So let's take a look at what could be done here. And anybody in the chat, help me out with your suggestions too. Reading this background, just gotten started on this journey, amazed at the changes and shifts, been feeling a little lost lately. So this was a post that you had done a while back. It's just long. There has to be like a shorter way to pull a headline out of it, of like, for example, I was feeling lost. That's the headline. I was feeling lost. And then say more in like a bullet point way of, I felt like I was everybody's backup dancer. I was, taking care of these 3 amazing girls, doing all the things. But I lost my confidence, and my joie de vivre went with it. A friend of mine suggested something that helped me get my energy back, and it worked. And period. Like all of this that you're explaining about all of this, you could take this one post and turn it into like 5 posts. You could do a post that says, it's a picture of you, and it says, did you know that happy hormones come from your gut? 90% come from your gut. And then talk about how, or, talk about my happy hormones were blocked, or that could be your headline. My happy hormones were blocked. And then say, did you know that they come from your gut? And then do a post. You could do a post about feeling like a burnout mom, of, hey moms, I see you, I feel you. I know what it's like when you feel like you can't be everywhere and do everything, and you come last. You're always at the end of the list. Here's how I've learned to do better self-care. So take the same thing and just do it, over and over again, like do it in smaller segments, like the sugar cravings. That would be a whole post by itself. Have a piece, have you and have a chocolate bar and say, my sugar cravings are gone. Or you could say, like Jazzy did with sleep, do this one thing to stop your sugar cravings. That's a hook. And then go explain how it is that you can, what it is that you're doing. I'm using this. I don't like to say happy juice most of the time, guys. You'll notice even when people do a shout out post to me, I'm not saying happy juice, because I want them to, I'm sorry, somebody's messaging me about the next meeting. I want them to, okay. I want them to instead, I want them to have a conversation with me. My purpose of my post is not to sell them something. My purpose is for them to engage in a conversation with me, either by them liking it or commenting on it, because when I can get them in a conversation, then I can find out what they care about, and then I can recommend something to them. I'm going to ask Holly, if Holly's still here. Holly, you and I have been in some conversations with some prospects with you. Is there something that oh, sorry. Is there I think I'm on stereo. Is there something that you've learned in the conversations I'm having with your prospects that you would share with everybody?
Oh goodness, yes. So one thing is that you ask a lot of questions. I'm always like, okay, whatever your problem is, happy juice, here we go. Here's your solution. Let's get this done. And Laura, you're so great with being patient and just asking. And then once they reply, you dig in a little deeper and a little deeper. And also, I feel like I've got all these conversations going and it's moving slower than I want, but I'm noticing that, the patience is there, that you're just continuing to kind of massage that relationship and be kind of a more trusted person. So yeah, asking the questions for sure. And then knowing that maybe happy juice isn't always the direction that we go. And one more thing. You never just recommend one thing. It's kind of usually a trio of products that target whatever it is they're looking for.
Yes, very good. Thank you, Holly. Thank you. The reason why I've learned to do that, guys, I used to be like that too. That's why I got the question mark tattooed on my wrist. You do not have to go to that extreme, but I used to just want it for somebody so badly that as soon as I got them on the hook, I was reeling them in and I was pushing out the link to them. But it made me feel like such a failure because so often they were not buying. And then I felt like, I don't know what I'm doing. The products are too expensive. Maybe this isn't the right business for me. And then I went down that whole trail. Yes. Even after running billion-dollar companies in this industry, I went down the trail of thinking, I don't really know what I'm doing out here. And my mentor told me, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. You are going on like the first date and proposing marriage and retirement in rocking chairs with people. And he's like, you've got to let them discover it. If they discover it, they will be lifelong trusted customers of yours, clients of yours. And what he also said is true, is they will refer other people. I have several people that have never, ever bought anything from me that have referred dozens of people to me. Imagine that. They have never bought anything from me. It wasn't for them, for all of their excuses and all of their reasons, but they've referred other people to me. So which would you rather have, guys? Would you rather have going fast and then feeling like a failure because the person wasn't ready for it and they didn't engage and then you blamed yourself? Or would you rather have getting to know them, asking questions, understanding why they think the way they think, not rushing to recommend something to people, so that by the time you do recommend it, that's where for me, usually price is not a concern, or does the product work is not a concern, because by the time we get to the shopping cart or the videos, they have already sold themselves on it just because I asked the questions. And it's worth it. It's worth it to be patient. And it's because I love people. I love people, and I'm not in it for just me. I'm not in it to just get a sale. I'm not in it to just make money. I genuinely want them to have a better experience, and I want them to believe that they're going to have a better experience. Because the other thing I found to be true is if I want it more for somebody than they want it for themselves, they may do an obligatory purchase and then never reorder again, cancel their subscribe and saves and ghost me and stop talking to me. And that doesn't feel good either. Now, people do that anyway because they're busy. So, but I know what the alternative is like, and that's what keeps me patient. Is I love the person and I want them to come to the self-discovery of what it is that they need, and to keep in mind. And I even send, like, one of the gals that we're talking with, she pretty much said that she had all these problems and she's been to all these doctors, and she pretty much has in her mind the belief that she has to go to an endocrinologist now because it's definitely something medical, where all the doctors have told her they can't find anything wrong with her. But she's so miserable with her menopause symptoms and with everything else that she thinks that, she's got to go find a doctor that can help her with it. And so what I ended up having, a little bit of exchange with her, a conversation, offered some solutions. I complimented her. People love to be complimented. And I really admire people that listen to their own body and are relentless in finding solutions. Those are like my two most common compliments I give people. I love it that you listen to your own body. I love it that you're a savvy consumer and that you read labels and that you are asking me a ton of questions about ingredients. I love it. Like, I take whatever it is that they're doing and I compliment them about it because it helps me to develop a stronger connection and relationship with them. But then I sent her, instead of a shopping cart, I sent her some podcasts to listen to that are about the hormone connection with the gut. And what I didn't say to her, Holly, but you could go in and say is, hey, it could be that this is really the missing link for you. And that's a great language, especially for somebody that's exhausted all the doctors and can't get any relief from what they're doing. It could be that this is the missing link for you. Because then they start thinking, well, what if it is the missing link? Like if nobody else can solve it, what if this would work? So anyway, very good. Very good. Okay, guys, we are running out of time today. I so much enjoyed our time together. Congratulations again, Marielle, for winning. We're going to be doing a little challenge like that on every team meeting call, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. We'll be doing our team meetings and we'll end it with a little challenge, and we'll be doing a drawing here on Wednesdays. So that's what we're going to be doing in the month of May. So looking forward to catching up with you again soon. Remember, go out and be authentic. If you did not already do this yourself, or if you want to go back and do it a different way, like we talked about, go try doing it in a different way. Talk about, 3 things. Talk about, be honest. Say, my mental health, my mental wellness on a scale from 1 to 5, I was at my lowest point ever. That's a headline. I was at my lowest point ever. And then people are like, oh, what's she talking about? And then you can say, my mental well-being was like a 1 on a scale from 1 to 5. I never learned anything about how to take care of stress, how to reduce stress, how to help my mind. And now I've learned that that self-care is important. And I take a walk, or I take time for some reading, or I stretch, or I listen to a podcast, or I take a supplement that helps with my gut brain connection. See how I don't say happy juice? Because I want them to say, what is the supplement that you take? And then you don't answer that in the comments, because if you do, nobody else asked the question. You say, oh, I'll tell you about it. Tell me more about why you're interested in it. And you get the conversation going. Anytime somebody says, what is it that you take? I never send them a link. I always say, yeah, I'll tell you more about it. Tell me what it is that interests you. Why are you asking me? What do you want to know about it? What are you trying to solve? If I don't know their problem, I am not going to land the sale. So I have to know what their problem is, and what they think their problem is, and what they've done about it, and what they're not happy with, in order for me to make the best recommendation for them. So do something like that, and then say, what are you doing for your mental health? Or you can even do a color block post of, what 3 things are you doing for your mental health, or just one, what's your go-to for your mental health? Do some things like that, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.